So one of the things when we talk about beauty in the theological realm is we always have to match it up with truth and goodness, because the three of them go hand in hand, or hand in hand in hand together. And so the revelation that God is the creator, the origin and ground and destiny of all creation is the ultimate basis for our affirming the truth, knowability, and goodness, lovability, and beauty, delightfulness of all things. All things can be known and loved and enjoyed because they are created. So again, that's a lot of mouthful there. But basically we're talking about truth being that which we know, okay? So whenever something is true, it's something that we can know. So I mean, that's kind of an objective definition of truth. Again, some of these things can have subjective nuances to them, but theologically, truth is always going to be about knowability. And goodness, something that's good is lovable. And so we'll talk about that more in terms of creation and beauty. But that which is good is lovable, and that which is beautiful causes delightfulness in our hearts and in our souls. And so all these things can be known and loved and enjoyed because they are created. So what matters to us beyond mere existence is how good and wonderful we are to one another. And so I put this picture of my dad on there with that embarrassing hat just to show you, and he'll kill me if he knows that I put that up there. But again, Dad's a beautiful guy, even with that crazy hat on. And it's an objective beauty because he is a creature of God, you know. And so we'll get off that slide right away so that Dad doesn't see that. And you notice the Mad Bomber in his pocket, that's the name of the hat, so. If beauty in its original meaning is the splendor of the true and the good illuminating from every ordered state of being, it is not enjoyed by one who fails to welcome that state of being, okay? So someone has to have an openness to that beauty to recognize it, you know? And there are lots of things that cause us to not be open to that beauty in our lives. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you're not going to enjoy beauty, you're not going to be able to recognize beauty if you have things going on in your life that distract you from it, that take you away from it. And Jesus delights, and we'll talk more about Jesus in a second, but Jesus delights in the beauty of the triune unity, goodness, and truth. So Jesus delights in the beauty of his disciples' unity and true love for one another, the true image icon of the triune unity, the sacrament of transforming presence. And so that unity of the triune Godhead, Father, Son, and Spirit, that unity is beauty in and of itself. And so we can appreciate that beauty, as does Jesus in the Trinity. We can appreciate that beauty in that unity. And so it's a pretty heavy definition, if you will. But it's something that helps us to recognize this relationship between God, the Trinity, and us in beauty. And there is a relationship there, and we'll keep pecking at that as we go through this. But there is another break here for a discussion, so eat and discuss at the same time. But you have the sheets in front of you. So at the end of our conversation tonight, we're going to see a little 10-minute discussion from Bishop Barron, and he's going to assert that because beauty is more accessible to us by coming to see the beauty in something, we are moved to see its goodness, and thus theological truths can be made revealed to us. And so in light of that, and in light of what we just discussed briefly on truth, goodness, and beauty, what do you think about the presentation of the relationship and progression from beauty to goodness to truth? And can you think of an example of this? So what is there in your life that you've experienced as beautiful? And does it say anything to you about goodness and truth? Again, not subjectively, but objectively. So if we go back, when you talk about truthfulness, you talk about knowability. So what can we know about something? When we know about something, then we know its truth. And then what is its goodness, its lovability? And again, I mean, because we're talking about a theological perspective on beauty, that goodness, that lovability is going to be an important part of it. And the delightfulness that causes us. because beauty cannot do anything but cause us to be delighted in what we're experiencing in that beauty. Okay? So just talk about that a little bit on your question there.